July 4th. My little girl has burned her toes. Spot's got a blister on his nose. Is it quite safe, do you suppose, to let the kids play without clothes out there where all the sparks are falling? Is that your or my child calling? Let's light the cherry bombs, quit stalling. What's that? The noise is so appalling. The barbecue is lost in smoke. It's got so thick I'm like to choke. Watch out, crash, bang for that great oak. A Roman candle thunderstroke explodes and showers us with ashes. A guest into the fire crashes. He stumbles out, his teeth he gnashes, sporting a set of flame mustaches. At last it's morning and my eyes survey a lawn that smolders like a full ashtray. Nobody dead, so I can truly say it was another perfect Independence Day. The dream. Look, Tony's riding on a horse along a river to its source. He's driven by some driving force which keeps him on the go. The jungle swoops down to the shore and covers up the forest floor, but he knows every wall's a door and moves on with the flow. Caught in a mighty monsoon's wrath, the river washes out the path, swamps them in a torrential bath, a dreadful undertow. Look, Tony's swimming up the stream, deep in his eye a distant gleam, chasing the impossible dream, his face in dark aglow. The river swerves around the bend, he disappears, and I pretend he's swimming still. Swim on, my friend, swim on and westward ho. One of my daughters, a Buddhist. She sits on the path and recites mantras that float to the heavens and practices Buddhistic rites. One of my daughters, a nudist. Though not always stripped to the skin, she practices forms of nudistics. Both bask in the sun from within. Humanity. I don't have the heart for revenge. I try to brush it aside. But there's part of my heart that would tear them apart, those who to humanity lied. I don't have the stomach for power, to hold other lives in my hands, to need no approval to start the removal for all which humanity stands. I haven't the patience to wait for the tide of opinion to turn, though it's welling and swelling, becoming compelling. How long must humanity burn? I don't see a clear enough light on the workings of justice shine. Just disruption, corruption, without interruption. Oh, who has the sinew and spine? Who has the nerve and the knowledge, the vision, compassion, the thrust to humanity lead on the path to succeed? Oh, who is the one we can trust? The end of this millennium was marked not able to eat, sleep, shit, smoke, or fuck. As if somebody accidentally parked his brand new, fully loaded pickup truck upon my throat and belly and remarked on noticing me underneath, "Good luck." So random, casual was the hit I took, a thrown coat sliding down the wall that missed a hook. But now I'm slowly pulling out of it. Some of those holy pleasures have returned. Here I am out making a night of it with friends whose friendship has most brightly burned. telling the last 1,000 years to shove it. Although I know there's something we have learned, that there's an immutable link, a bond connecting everything before, right now, beyond. And all of us from stardust were created, and everyone to stardust will return. Within 5 billion years, our sun is fated its customary movements to adjourn, leaving everything incinerated, the earth a final funerary urn, so that our dust and ashes may be spilled in space, new galaxies and life forms to rebuild. So what's 1,000 years or so between friends? Each 100 years a century will come. Time's just a way to count. It never ends. 10 centuries make a millennium. How fast or slow it goes, that all depends. A nanosecond is too long for some. 1,000,000 years flies by in just a blink for distant stars burning on the galactic brink. So cuddle cozy around this glowing fire, we celebrate the passing of the years. If they about our little lives inquire, we'll say they're sprinkled with some laughter and some tears. We're ready for whatever might transpire, knowing the spirit always reappears, and even living flesh and blood and bone, one day, upon the master potter's wheel, into new golden vessels will be thrown. There is one friend among the rest who stands tall as a lily in a field that's rife with countless weeds and thorns and shifting sands, who for some decades now has shared my life. Her name is Linda, with the lovely hands. She is our daughter's mother and my wife. To honor her and hope she won't depart, for pain I've caused, I give her here my bleeding heart. You know, they ask me everywhere I go what things are like in Mexico. No. New Mexico, I say. What do they do for fun out there in San Jose? Does it compare to... No, that's Santa Fe. Well, we lie around all day in splendor. Ambrosia, nectar in the blender on terrace mountaintops. Like gods in pearl-encrusted boots, we speak only in absolutes and pull out all the stops. Hop in your car and drive out there. Stars swim in pools of crystal air. You're in for a surprise. The welcome station knows your name. They're overjoyed, so glad you came. They even know your size. Yes, spread upon the desert lawn, your own pearl boots, your own new sawn-off shotgun, and for luck, old turquoise beads, a western hat, Coors beer, string tie, a lariat, and brand new pickup truck. They give you maps, a few stiff shots, some priceless Pueblo Indian pots, and send you on your way along that road so charming, quaint, where there's no need to feel restraint. The trail to Santa Fe, the open skies, the endless plain, highway rest stops that serve champagne, the cactus silhouette that dominates the distant hills, and then without fanfare or frills, one more perfect sunset as you go roaring down the road. But wait, that car ahead is slowed. He signals like a gent. He's pulling in, you better stop. A combination litter drop and historic monument is coming up. Don't think I mock. This grand affair like Camel Rock is something you must see. Look, ancient writing on the cliff. Stop here, my friend, especially if you have to take a pee. It's paradise, I won't be vague. Land of the flea, home of the plague. The cozy great Southwest. Smart dinner clubs, art without reason, prison riots, the opera season. The Chamber of Commerce wouldn't take that one. Ingratitude, so much a part of human nature that it's smart to take it for granted. Not to be hurt, to understand thank yous are fine in Wonderland where everyone's enchanted. But in this world, the very least you might expect from your fellow beast in the way of gratitude is just about what he'll express, the very least, or a little less. You know the attitude. This poem is called, sometimes it's called Enlightenment, and sometimes I call it a cult adult. A cult adult. Well, you can fast for 40 days, or contemplate a Chinese vase, or raise your arms above your head and hold them there all year till visions come and disappear, or concentrate on love, or prayers, or deeds, the blessed kind, suspend the functions of your mind in amniotic tanks, or practice varied magic arts, probe deep into your heart of hearts and simply draw blanks, or try yogic postures, tantric twists, enveloping yourself in mists of marijuana smoke. All are effective to a point. Right now I'm lighting up a joint and hoping I don't choke on special diets, sleepless nights, the ancient rituals and rites, the 1,000 different modes designed to elevate the soul, to bring it nearer to its goal before the thing corrodes, becomes a rusted entity, a thing without identity. There's hardly any chance a breakthrough will occur before you turn into a total bore and need an ambulance to rush you from the scene to spare your friends from having mal de mer, and not even a pill to save them from that awful motion. When you get stuck on some new notion, why, everyone gets ill. So just relax and take a bath. There is a way to find the path, to open up the door. Remember this, some way, somehow, things are more like they are right now than they ever were before. How nice we are to our friends' wives. How truly heartfelt nice. As if we're nice all through our lives and never even once threw knives at our own little wife. Hebrew Zen. A celebrated simpleton who searched the world and finding none of all the things he sought, asked a Jewish gentleman, or was it a monk from Japan, if knowledge could be bought. He asked why Jews, or Nipponese, were just as smart as you could please. The answer, herring heads. For just a couple bucks a throw, you'll be completely in the know. You'll lecture to the feds. So every day this chap would pop into the Oriental shop, buy fish heads from the Jew, until one day he stopped to think. Poised upon enlightenment's brink, he thought he really knew. He raced across town to the store. The Yiddish Jap stood by the door. How come I paid $2 for herring heads? Am I so dense? The whole fish cost just 50 cents. Are we goys sitting ducks? Inscrutable, the Jews, the Japs, known for never caught taking naps. The answer came out steady. Hold on, my friend, I'm not a crook. Their money is not lost, just look. You're getting smarter already. I am a therapist of art. All matters of the head and heart, of tissue, blood, and soul, I leave to learned medicos, whose mysteries I won't expose since I'm out on parole. I found a way to separate the spirit from the packing crate, and for this I was debarred, unfrocked and drummed out of the core, humiliated, and for an encore I was feathered and tarred. The only problem that I cure is how to make fine art endure, no matter what it takes. I diagnose the frail and weak, unspeakable human physique and never make mistakes. I have prescribed excessive drink to keep some patients in the pink, in shape for making art. I'll meddle in their private life, calm down, frustrate, infuriate a wife, a mistress, a sweetheart. I disregard the dreadful ache that artists feel for their art's sake. For when the moment strikes and art comes pouring out in reels, it doesn't matter how the artist feels, what he thinks or likes, as long as he's creating work that is supreme. Insane, berserk, who cares? Happy, sad, or smart? In fact, I often recommend suicide as the perfect end, because death will further his art. Of all the things you could desire, the heights to which you might aspire, from alphas to omegas, the power of wealth, looks like Apollo, youth, joy, peace. I'd like to follow Sinatra at Las Vegas. Of course, there's an act that's hard to follow. Dancers choke and comics swallow upon the very rare occasions when it might fall out, a benefit, a drinking bout, some special billionaire, a marathon for cardiacs where many dozen acts perform in random order so that someone who would normally flank would actually follow Frank. And this poor sap would sort of stand there through 8 or 9 encores, stuck in the wings while the applause seemed to go on forever. Then Frank would leave the stage at last, accompanied by a final blast of cheers. And then you never heard a silent hush drop so hard. As everybody on the card, the entire audience, sat on the edges of their seat like victims planted in concrete and waited in immense expectation for the event, feeling the exquisite torment of him who's scheduled next, who'd have to pull one from his hat, some miracle to follow that performance beyond text. Yes, if I had to make a choice between the body and the voice, and that's no easy trick, making love to Cleopatra or to follow Frank Sinatra, you know which one I'd pick. Sniffle. Now, suicide is frowned upon. I know and think it's right. But still, the thought of living death, a vegetable without a breath, who cannot see the light, who cannot mow your lawn. Speed is the thing when you depart. No time to watch the fauna. When life gives me the finger, I don't want to linger. Next time I sniffle, I'm just going to stab myself in the heart. Now, here's another bar. You talked about a bar in one of your poems. What bar was that?
Kiwi. The Kiwi bar.
The Kiwi bar.
Oh, yeah.
This is the Panda bar. Abstract albinos weave their way through rows of pimps in lilac spray and high-crowned western hats. Hoodlums in jackets with a bulge. Informers ready to divulge more pimps and shades and spats. A famous entertainer sips Black Russian through her famous lips. White powder on her nose. Ceremonial hookers flash outrageous limbs and ritual gash, sweat damp and musky rose. The master of the perfect scam, the trickster, con, the on the lamb, the flake, the sharks, the pro, high rollers on the skids, on bail, mere interlopers out of jail are toasting toe to toe. The bar is jammed with crisscross legs, silk suits, boiled shirts, the cream, the dregs, rehearse tonight's mayhem. And coiled in the leather booths, snake ladies tell half lies, half truths. It's only 9 a.m. While in the perfect dark, the throb of every heart, as some poor slob is goosed by a movie star. The morning crowd is getting tight. They all thank God it's still last night inside the Panda Bar. Marriage. That ambitiously elusive pact. That solemn and most final act, according to the way our parents thought, who foolishly believed that there was naught that could separate a married couple, so strong, that bond so permanent and supple. Ah, married life, where every day is a dream that slips into the next without a seam, each for the other sacrificing, all-consuming, all-sufficing, love-locked in deep embraces, kissing, the world not knowing what it's missing. Ah, married, at the end of a long day, years hence, when both of you are old and gray, and summertime and wintertime are one long ceremonial procession in the sun, as vines that as they climb together lovingly contort. I see you two entwined forever in such mutual support. I have a daughter named Bella and one called Nikteha Osha. Now you've got a Sophia Ella. I just hope that everything's kosher, because daughters are diamonds a dozen, more precious than all worldly gain. I keep a couple flash frozen in a cryonic locker in Spain. So if ever I run out of daughters or find myself short one or two, I just have to ring up headquarters and they'll instantly thaw out a few and send them wherever I'm living, no matter what part of the world. For daughters are gifts worth the giving. Why be boyed when you can be girled? Oh, it's so lonely on the road. My head is bent, my body bowed. No one to share this heavy load. I'm in a zero expectation mode. I mount a horse and I get throwed. Got wild oats that I ain't sowed. I'm feeling horny as a toad. I'm in a zero expectation mode. Here's a letter to Dr. M. I know that there's a world out there, and for services rendered, ethics, morality declared that payment must be tendered. But when a tailor makes a suit, you take it home and wear it. If it's not perfect head to foot, there's no charge to repair it. And when the cobbler mends a boot, if your feet just can't bear it, he doesn't ask for extra loot, and that's the truth, I swear it. So since I'm not a millionaire, not even a pretender, please let me know, is this bill fair, or should I just surrender? Reply as a message on my answering machine from the doctor's office. Roses are red, violets are blue. Send us that money or we're coming after you. Okay, there's a couple more here if you guys can bear it.
Oh, yes.
Sometimes I dream, this is an inter-kingdom love song. Sometimes I dream I'm dancing with the flowers. their willow slimness folded in my arms. We whirl about in summer thunder showers, their leaves caressing gently fill my palms, and I might steal a kiss beneath the bowers, and they kiss back without the slightest qualms. Their petals with exquisite softness brush my lips, and we embrace as pollen flies and nectar drips. If I could find a plant to take a chance, I know I'm ready and extremely willing. If there arose the proper circumstance, I think there's nothing that could be more thrilling than honeymooning in the south of France. To intertwine our essences, distilling, to love, and bring forth a brand new kind of creature, superior to man and plant in every feature. I won't commit an impropriety by talking of the actual mechanics. Creating a new species or variety is not a case of sexual botanics, but more a form of sacred inebriety, a mix of tenderness and sheer volcanics, a tipsy cosmic rush of spinning vertigo that turns a dream into a living embryo. Got just enough money to easily count it. I got just enough trouble to barely surmount it. Got just enough feeling to keep it from showing. Got just enough fuel to get where I'm going. Got just enough learning to flow with the tide. Got just enough loving to pickle my hide. Got just enough power to fill up my lungs with just enough poems to roll off my tongue. Got just enough visions and just enough trust and just enough flashes of pure wanderlust to embark for the stars, leaving just enough ashes and just enough dust. While faking a recovery, I made a great discovery that I'll pass on to you. While dying in intensive care and trying to act debonair, a voice out of the blue revealed to me in one swift stroke that no matter who it was who spoke, no one pays attention. And just because someone remains silent while you're taking pains to casually mention the benefits of nicotine, the lifestyle of the Nazarene, the details of some dreadful scene, it doesn't for a second mean he's listening to you. It doesn't even mean that he's being polite or trying to please by waiting till you're through. No. The only reason you can speak and friends don't interrupt and shriek or wander off to sup is that they either drift away or start preparing what they're going to say as soon as you shut up. So while I lay there in my bed, pretending that I wasn't dead, still talking, though in grunts, it came to me without ado. Why wait till someone else is through? Let's all speak out at once. And this is my unauthorized autobiography. I was born and then I died, and in between I always tried. I lived for love and loved to live. I gave whatever I had to give. I took a wife who cut me loose, said I was a silly goose. I tried again and found a wife who's the darling of my life. I rode away to join the war but couldn't stand the things I saw. I went to schools and learned in books, politicians all are crooks. Had a daughter, then one more. Oh Lord, I wish that we had four. I traveled here and all around on weary roads, on dusty ground. I drove right through the ocean blue and found a world that was brand new. To everyone I met I spoke and listened well to certain folk. I searched each eye and every mind, and still I search and still I find, and still I write my poem of life, of laughter, joy, of struggle, strife, and still I live upon a ledge, relaxing on the knife's sharp edge. I was born and then I died, and in between I always tried. And this last poem is for Johnny Dolphin.
Yay.
I asked a man to read a poem he wrote a while back. We sat together in his home, as pleasant as a honeycomb, a cozy cul-de-sac. I liked the way the poem praised two women, what they wrought, the things of beauty they had raised, the flame within their souls that blazed, the battles they had fought against the beast who knows no peace, how they withstood the siege, waved by the hand that won't release Gestapo tyrant thought police. So perfect, true, and liege were they to what they knew was right, they stood alone uncloaked in brilliancies of stars and light that made new day out of old night. I saw the man had choked on his own words, a bit upset, moved by the poem he wrote. Tears of astonishment, regret. I laughed. My eyes were also wet. A sob caught in my throat.